Welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at celebrities who have faced jail time. Fame and fortune used to keep them out of trouble, but not anymore. From minor mistakes to major scandals, these stars are facing the consequences. Let's see who's serving time. In October 2009, former MMA fighter War Machine surprised many by venturing into the entertainment industry to supplement his fighting career. During this period, he appeared in several films and began dating celebrity Christy Mack. However, his life soon spiraled out of control. In 2010, he was sentenced to a year in prison for assault, marking the beginning of his downfall. After his release, he learned that Mack had moved on to a new relationship, triggering a violent outburst. On August 8, 2014, consumed by jealousy, he broke into Mack's home and brutally attacked both her and her boyfriend, Corey Thomas. The assault left Mack with severe injuries and sparked widespread media attention, further cementing his disgrace. The jury delivered its verdict. War Machine, born Jonathan Copenhaver, was found guilty on multiple charges, including kidnapping. He received a life sentence, with the possibility of parole after 36 years. His dramatic fall from a once promising MMA fighter to a lifetime behind bars serves as a sobering reminder of how violence and unchecked rage can destroy even the most celebrated careers. What could be better than starting the day with a delicious cup of tea and watching this interesting video? Colin Rashad Walker, a 27-year-old rapper and actor from Los Angeles, was sentenced to 50 years to life in prison for multiple sexual assault charges against 4 women and 3 teenagers. Convicted on various counts, including forcible rape, Walker was described as a predator by Deputy District Attorney Cynthia Wallace. He is now required to register as a sex offender for life, despite being acquitted of some charges and planning to appeal. Walker targeted aspiring models on social media, gaining their trust before committing the crimes. Walker's attorney claimed that the accusations were motivated by revenge, although none of the victims knew each other prior to coming forward. Zach Avery, whose real name is Zachary Horwitz, was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for orchestrating a $650 million Ponzi scheme. He falsely claimed that investor funds would be used to purchase the rights to HBO and Netflix films for overseas distribution. The U.S. Attorney's Office also ordered him to pay $230 million in restitution to the victims. Horwitz portrayed himself as an insider in Hollywood, leveraging his company's fabricated connections to major streaming platforms. However, his victims eventually discovered that he was not the successful businessman he claimed to be, but merely playing a role. His film credits include The Devil Below, You're Not Alone, and Curvature. The FBI revealed that this scam was related to a 2015 investor report listing 52 movies that were allegedly distributed in various jurisdictions. Horwitz is accused of diverting most of the proceeds for personal use, defrauding over 250 investors through his company, One Inmem Capital, from 2014 until his arrest in April 2021. For a time, Oscar Pistorius stood as a symbol of resilience and triumph. After losing both legs as a child, the South African sprinter defied expectations, rising to the ranks of world-class athletes. He made history by competing in both the Paralympics and the Olympics, showcasing that determination, not physical limitations, defines a person's potential. However, In the early hours of Valentine's Day 2013, Pistorius's inspiring legacy took a devastating turn. That morning, he shot and killed his girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp, a well-known model, through the bathroom door of his home. Pistorius insisted he mistook her for an intruder, but investigators questioned his account, pointing to signs of tension in their relationship in the months leading up to the tragic incident. In October 2014, Pistorius was found guilty of manslaughter and sentenced to 5 years in prison. However, his early release less than a year later on good behavior sparked public outrage, with many demanding a stricter punishment. In November 2015, his manslaughter conviction was overturned, and he was instead found guilty of murder. Though his sentence was increased to 6 years, critics argued it was far too lenient given the gravity of the crime. Determined to seek justice for Riva Steenkamp, prosecutors pushed for a harsher penalty, insisting that the original ruling had failed to deliver true accountability. Buck Zumhofe, known as Rock and Roller in the wrestling world, carved out a modest career in the 1980s, competing in promotions like AWA and Pro Wrestling America. By the time he joined WWE, then WWF, his career had faded, and he was primarily used as an enhancement talent to elevate other wrestlers. One of his most notable moments came when he became the first wrestler to be placed in a body bag by The Undertaker, a moment that, despite his limited success, cemented his place in wrestling history. However, Zumhofe's wrestling career has been overshadowed by serious criminal offenses. In 2003, he was arrested and charged with multiple counts following a disturbing history of indecent exposure. The case exposed a pattern of misconduct dating back to the 1980s, during which he had already served time for similar crimes. Ultimately, he was convicted and sentenced to over 25 years in prison. His once recognizable name in the wrestling world is now synonymous with disgrace, leaving an irreparable stain on his legacy. Jen Shah gained fame as a cast member of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City on Bravo, known for her sharp remarks and dramatic personality. However, in March 2021, Shah faced criminal charges related to conspiracy to commit money laundering and wire fraud. Along with her assistant, she was accused of running a telemarketing scam targeting elderly victims, defrauding them out of large sums of money by offering services such as website development and business coaching that had little to no value. Reports revealed heartbreaking stories of victims like 75-year-old Tricia from North Carolina, who invested over $47,000 in coaching services for her business plans. Another victim, World War II veteran Ralph Hick, lost more than $100,000. Sadly, Hick passed away at the age of 92, and his family believes that the scam contributed to his decline. Text messages exchanged between Shah and her accomplices discussed strategies for retaining victims and extracting more money from them. Initially claiming innocence, Shah later pleaded guilty to wire fraud. She was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison and is currently serving her time at the Federal Correctional Institution in Bryan, Texas, with the possibility of parole in August 2028. Chris Wu from Canada achieved significant success in the K-pop industry and later expanded his opportunities into English-language entertainment. Previously a rapper and singer in the South Korean boy band EXO, Wu, real name Wu Yifan, shifted to a solo career and acting in the mid-2010s. He starred in blockbuster Chinese films such as The Mermaid and Journey to the West, The Demons Strike Back, as well as Hollywood action films like XXX, Return of Xander Cage and Valerian, and The City of a Thousand Planets. However, in July 2021, a woman filed a complaint with the Beijing police, alleging that Wu had coerced her into a sexual encounter in 2020. According to reports, Wu had invited her to his home under the pretense of interviewing her for a role in a music video, where he allegedly used alcohol to get her intoxicated. Following these allegations, several other women came forward with similar stories, and many celebrities and teenage girls spoke out against Wu's misconduct online. As a result, he faced serious legal consequences. He was arrested, tried, and ultimately convicted in November 2022. The Chaoyang District Court found him guilty of rape and sentenced him to 13 years in prison. Ian Watkins, former frontman of emo band Lost Prophets, shocked the world and devastated his loyal fans when he was arrested in late 2012 on a series of charges involving minors. Known as a voice for outsiders and an inspiration to many, Watkins's downfall came as a shock to many. Initially, both fans and band members supported him, but they were forced to withdraw their support when the severity of his crimes were revealed. The evidence of child abuse committed by Watkins was some of the most shocking and painful the police had ever seen. Watkins eventually pleaded guilty to several charges, including possession of illegal material and other serious charges, to avoid exposing the jury to the harrowing evidence. He was sentenced to 29 years in prison, with an additional 6 years of supervised release. Since his incarceration, Watkins's health and appearance have deteriorated so drastically that he is almost unrecognizable. Although some former fans and friends still visit him, his reputation as a musician has been permanently damaged. Jared Fogle, a household name thanks to his dramatic weight loss and the popular Subway diet, became an icon of change in the early 2000s. After losing a huge amount of weight by eating Subway sandwiches, Fogle quickly became the spokesperson for the restaurant chain, holding that role for an impressive 15 years from 2000 to 2015. But the man once celebrated for his weight loss success faced a major scandal in the summer of 2015. That year, Fogle's home was raided by authorities as part of an investigation into his illegal activities. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that Fogle had been involved in inappropriate conduct involving minors. This scandal prompted Subway to quickly end its relationship with him to avoid legal consequences. Fogle accepted a plea deal, admitting to engaging in illegal activities, including traveling across state lines for improper purposes. Despite the plea deal, Fogle was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in federal prison, 3 years longer than prosecutors had originally requested. Joe Giudice, widely recognized from Real Housewives of New Jersey, now faces a stark reality far removed from the glamour of reality TV. While much of the show centered on his wife, Teresa Giudice, Joe found himself in the spotlight in 2015 as the mastermind behind a bankruptcy fraud scheme. Both he and Teresa were convicted, but Joe received a harsher sentence due to additional charges of failing to file tax returns from 2004 to 2008, further sealing his legal troubles. In March 2016, Joe began serving a 41-month sentence at the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Facility in New Jersey, where reports suggest he struggled to adjust to life behind bars. Meanwhile, Teresa completed her sentence and returned home, openly discussing the toll his imprisonment has taken on their marriage. She revealed that Joe frequently called from prison, sometimes leaving aggressive messages when she didn't answer, further exposing the growing rift between them. His dramatic downfall, from reality TV fame to incarceration, serves as a stark reminder of how real-life legal troubles can overshadow even the most glamorous on-screen image. Sam Hurd, once a rising NFL star, saw his career and life unravel due to his involvement in illegal drug trafficking. A standout player at Northern Illinois University, he entered the league with high expectations, joining the Dallas Cowboys with dreams of making an impact. However, his time in the NFL was quickly overshadowed by substance abuse issues that followed him from the early days of his career, setting the stage for his eventual downfall. On December 14, 2011, Hurd was arrested in a sting operation after attempting to buy a large quantity of cocaine and marijuana, intending to distribute the drugs for profit. His legal troubles worsened the following year when he violated bail by failing multiple drug tests. His attorney argued that Hurd was struggling personally and had succumbed to pressure from those around him during a vulnerable period. However, the courts showed no leniency. In 2013, he pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 15 years in federal prison. Now serving his time at FCI Bastrop in Texas, Hurd's downfall stands as a stark warning about the lasting consequences of poor choices and illegal pursuits. Abby Lee Miller, once a well-known reality TV star, has become yet another cautionary tale of fame gone wrong. For many lower-tier celebrities, life beyond the spotlight proves challenging, often leading to legal trouble, rehab, or worse. While a few manage to rebuild their lives, Miller is far from an exception, finding herself entangled in the familiar downfall that has plagued so many before her. Miller shot to fame in 2011 as the star of Dance Moms, a reality show that showcased her relentless drive to push young dancers toward competitive success. Her tough, no-nonsense coaching style and commanding presence captivated audiences, earning her a devoted following and leading to multiple spin-offs. However, her halo faded when legal issues arose. I had no idea how quickly things were happening. There were no weapons, and I didn't know where the security team was because they certainly weren't helping me. In October 2015, Miller was indicted on fraud charges after authorities uncovered a secret bank account she used to conceal income while benefiting from bankruptcy claims she had filed in 2010. Hoping for a reduced sentence, she struck a deal with the IRS and pleaded guilty to lesser charges. Ultimately, she was sentenced to 366 days in prison, serving 9 months at the Victorville Federal Correctional Facility before her release. Bobby Shmurda, like many rappers, built his reputation by rapping about crime and street life. However, unlike most artists who keep their lyrics as storytelling, Shmurda blurred the line between music and reality. In 2014, at just 20 years old, his career was skyrocketing. His hit single climbed to number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it seemed like the young rapper was on the verge of mainstream success. That same year, however, Schmurda's legal troubles began to surface. In June, he was arrested and charged with weapons possession after police found him with a gun in his friend's apartment. Things got worse in December when he was arrested again, this time facing a more serious charge: attempted murder. Despite being investigated, Schmurda's troubles continued behind bars when he was caught trying to smuggle a knife into Rikers Island, further complicating his legal situation. By September 2016, with multiple charges against him, Bobby Schmurda accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to attempted third-degree murder and possession of a firearm. He was initially sentenced to 7 years in prison, but the sentence was increased to 11 years after a homemade knife was discovered in his cell. Schmurda's fall from rising rap star to inmate remains a cautionary tale in the world of hip-hop. Gary Glitter, a one-time pop star best known for his glam rock hits in the 1970s, saw his career collapse in 1999 when he was convicted of serious underage sex crimes. After being found in possession of illegal material, Glitter served a 4-month prison sentence in the UK. After his release, he left the country and lived in Cambodia, but was deported in 2002 on suspicion of other crimes. Glitter then moved to Vietnam, where he again ran into legal trouble and was convicted of similar crimes, leading to further prison sentences. Upon his return to the UK, any attempts to relaunch his career were overshadowed by new allegations in 2012. Glitter was implicated in a major investigation into the misconduct of television presenter Jimmy Savile. British authorities uncovered further allegations against Glitter, including a serious charge of sexual assault against an underage victim at the BBC. Glitter was arrested and charged with multiple offenses, and in 2015 he was convicted and sentenced to 16 years in prison, with the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. Michael Jace is best known for his role as Officer Julian Lowe on the FX drama The Shield, and has appeared in popular films such as Forrest Gump and Boogie Nights. However, a tragic event occurred at Jace's home in the Hyde Park area of Los Angeles. Jace was involved in a murder of his wife, April, which was witnessed by their young sons. During the trial, it was revealed that Jace, who had been drinking heavily, had acted out of irrational fear and jealousy. He was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. Speaking to the court at his sentencing, he expressed deep remorse, admitting that, "There is no excuse for my actions that night. I am truly sorry for the pain I caused everyone." Jace is currently serving his sentence at the California State Prison in Corcoran. His story is a sobering reminder of the serious effects of domestic violence and the importance of seeking help in times of crisis. Joe Sun, who became well known after moving from South Korea and becoming a professional MMA fighter in the US, had a career in the Ultimate Fighting Championship that ended without notable achievements, 0-4. However, he found greater success in the film industry, prominently featuring as a villain in low-budget action films alongside Lorenzo Lamas and Dolph Lundgren. He gained further recognition for his role as Random Task in the 1997 film Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. However, Sun's life took a dark turn in 2008 when he was arrested for vandalizing his roommate's car. This incident led to an agreement requiring Sun to provide a DNA sample, which unexpectedly linked him to a cold case nearly 2 decades earlier. On Christmas night in 1990, Sun and an accomplice kidnapped a young woman and inflicted severe harm upon her. During the trial, the victim recounted her traumatic experience, including Sun's chilling statement that he was giving himself a Christmas gift. Sun was subsequently convicted of severe torture as the statute of limitations for the sexual assault charges had expired. He was sentenced to 7 years to life in prison. Tragically, just a month after his incarceration, Sun became involved in another serious incident, resulting in an additional conviction for voluntary manslaughter and a further 27 years added to his sentence. Harvey Weinstein, co-founder of Miramax, gained fame in the 1990s for producing critically acclaimed films such as Pulp Fiction and Good Will Hunting. He even won an Oscar for producing Shakespeare in Love. However, Weinstein's reputation plummeted into darkness as years of rumors culminated in a New York Times investigation where over a dozen women accused him of harassment and sexual abuse. An article from The New Yorker subsequently revealed additional allegations, leading to nearly 100 women, including many celebrities, coming forward to share their experiences of Weinstein's misconduct. In 2018, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office charged Weinstein with rape, criminal sexual act, sexual abuse, and sexual misconduct related to 2 separate women. Actress Annabella Sciorra testified against him, recounting her own traumatic experience. Weinstein was convicted and sentenced to 23 years in prison. He also faced additional charges in Los Angeles, where he received another 16 years, and British prosecutors have allowed charges against him for sexual assault in London. Currently, Weinstein is serving his sentence at the Mohawk Correctional Facility in New York, about 100 miles north of New York City. Next are reality TV stars Julie and Todd Chrisley. Todd and Julie Chrisley rose to fame with their reality show Chrisley Knows Best, which premiered in 2014. However, in August 2019, legal troubles arose as the Chrisleys faced allegations related to tax evasion, bank fraud, and wire fraud. They were accused of evading nearly $2 million in state taxes, concealing over $1 million in income from their reality show from the IRS, and falsifying documents regarding their income and assets. Despite initially denying their wrongdoing, the couple eventually stood trial. Prosecutors revealed that the Chrisleys had exaggerated their wealth to banks, submitted falsified documents, and borrowed over $30 million to maintain their lifestyle while hiding money from the IRS. After a trial lasting nearly 3 weeks, Todd and Julie were convicted of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, and tax fraud. Julie was also convicted of wire fraud. Their sentences were severe. Todd received 12 years, while Julie was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Currently, Todd is serving his sentence at FCY Pensacola in Florida, while Julie is incarcerated at a federal correctional facility in Florida. Darren Sharper, now 48 years old, had a 14-year career in the NFL as a safety, playing for the Packers, Vikings, and Saints. His accomplishments include being selected to the All-Pro team twice and making the Pro Bowl 5 times. Notably, he was part of the Saints team that won the Super Bowl following Hurricane Katrina. However, Sharper's life took a dark turn in 2014 when allegations surfaced that he had drugged and sexually assaulted 2 women, one incident occurring in West Hollywood and the other in Las Vegas. Legal actions were initiated in 2015, but the terms of the settlements remain undisclosed. In 2016, Sharper faced serious legal repercussions. He pleaded guilty or no contest to charges of drugging and sexually assaulting multiple women across several states, including California and Nevada. As a result, he was sentenced to 18 years in prison. This dramatic fall from grace underscores the severe consequences of his actions and serves as a stark reminder of the responsibilities and repercussions that come with public life. Shannon Richardson, although not widely recognized, achieved a modest level of success through her roles in shows like The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries. However, she gained notoriety in 2013 when she sent poisoned letters to prominent figures, including former President Barack Obama. Richardson mailed a series of letters laced with ricin, the same poison featured in the TV series Breaking Bad. These letters were addressed to Obama and New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg. At the time, Richardson was going through a divorce and attempted to blame her ex-husband, Nathan, by falsely claiming that he had sent the letters. However, a thorough investigation revealed the truth. As a result, Richardson was convicted and sentenced to 18 years in prison. This shocking turn of events transformed a once moderately successful actress into a notorious figure. Suge Knight, co-founder of Death Row Records, played a significant role in shaping the West Coast hip-hop culture in the 1990s. His influence extended beyond music, making him a prominent figure in the entertainment industry. However, alongside his success, Knight faced a series of legal challenges that ultimately changed the course of his life. While on the set of the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton, Knight was involved in a violent altercation with Terry Carter and Cleabone Sloan. Knight was accused of running over both men, resulting in the tragic death of Carter and serious injuries to Sloan. This incident led to Knight being charged with murder and attempted murder. As legal proceedings unfolded, Knight's defense team negotiated a plea deal, and he ultimately pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter, a lesser charge than the initial murder accusation. In 2018, Knight received a significant sentence of 28 years in prison, with eligibility for parole set for 2034. This marked a dramatic turning point in the life of an influential figure in the music industry. Thank you for watching my video. There are many other interesting things in the next videos. Please look forward to it. Thank you and goodbye.